Going on, guys? This is podcast season 1, episode 5 of the podcast we do here, and we have UFC fighter Loopy Godinez on. You could say hello to the podcast.
Hello, how you doing?
All right. So first things first, give a little background of yourself, just to everybody, all the fans.
Yeah. So I'm Loopy Godinez, UFC fighter, as you say. I'm a Mexican fighter, but I live in Canada.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So just if you want to give a little like how you got started into MMA, what got you into
Yeah. So
UFC.
since I was a little kid, I've been always really active, really like poking little kids and like make them cry and blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
So my mom put me into judo, then I quit. Kid, we moved to Canada. Then I took judo. A few years later, I was here, and then so I quit that too. Oh no, I saw MMA in TV, and then I was like, I want to do that. Then I started training, MMA, and a few years later, we're here.
Yeah. That's awesome. Where did you start? Like, how did everything get started? Like, I'm saying, like, where did you start? Like, what program?
MMA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, pretty much I started just training. I started with grappling, and then slowly I started taking striking. And when I when I decided that I really wanted to do this, I just I started being a little bit more serious about it, and just training more, taking more grappling classes, more striking classes, and took my first amateur fight and second amateur fight, third, and then I turned pro. Then one by one, and until we made it to the UFC.
It's awesome. That's really cool. Congrats on that. How many amateur fights did you have?
I have 10.
Oh, gee. Last time I talked, there was just someone who had 8, 5, but that's awesome. So did you go straight from amateur fighting into the UFC, or did you go to another card or?
Yeah, so the amateur fights that were all over, you
Mm-hmm.
know, my first 5 fights, I believe, 4 or 5 fights, maybe 4 or 5, they were outside the UFC, different organization. I never signed a contract with anyone. It was
Okay.
just one by one.
Mm-hmm.
And I fought for the LFA. Then after the LFA one, I took my first UFC fight. That's when they called me for a short notice fight, and now we're here.
That's awesome. What was so like going into the UFC? What was like your general feeling, like your first match, like going into it?
Yeah, well, the first UFC fight, it was. I want to say I couldn't enjoy it as much just because I had to cut so much weight. We were in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Um, had to cut 25 pounds in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, it was pretty hard, and of course, it's hard to enjoy the process when you're not eating. You're you know
Yeah.
hungry and trying to train hard and trying to get all those pounds off. Uh, but we made the weight, and ever since I'm okay. I'm not gonna get that fat anymore,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much what is happening now. I just don't go high.
Was it really difficult to cut weight and everything like that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
5 pounds, is a lot of weight to for 2 weeks, two and a
Yeah.
half weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's ridiculous how you guys have to do that, but I mean, it's part of the experience and just going into that. Then you get your fight. Then you're in the weight class. Who was your who did you debut against, and how was that debut?
Jessica Penne, she has a lot of experience. That was, I learned a lot from that fight. Didn't go my way, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did learn a lot. Um, yeah, that was my, the fight that bring me into the UFC.
Yeah. Was that so that was in the middle of the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So there was no fans or anything like that. Okay.
No.
So what was the difference of one you had your last fight? What was the difference of fighting with fans and not fighting with fans?
And the difference was that it was more quiet,
Mhm.
and of course when there is like people in there screaming and making noise and stuff, it's always so much fun, right?
Yeah.
Also, like, I'm used to not having anyone around, because when you're training,
Mhm.
like, no one is really screaming like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay. I mean, obviously it's amazing to have the people there and be screaming and all of that, but also it's okay if there is no one.
Yeah, it was just when people tell me it's just like they say it's like a sparring session. They kind of just like block out the noise, you know. They take like every fight as one of those. Would you
Yeah.
consider that as a sparring session, like when you get in the fights with nobody, like no fans?
Like a Spartan. No, no, because I'm still, getting all those nerves and stuff.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
is different. It's different when you're in, when you are at the gym, you're in your comfort zone. Is the people you're sparring with. Is different feeling for sure.
Yeah, definitely. What would you say is one of your like favorite fights, or who was like one of the fighters that you fought against that you thought was like your favorite fight ever so far?
Mm. I'm gonna say Vanessa Demopoulos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think that was a hard fight or your favorite fight?
Well, that was a really fun fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because we both end up cut and bleeding.
Yeah.
Our face were like all cut. Um, and I go to be like, now we're super good friends. So
Yeah.
thanks to the fight, I got to meet her, and we're close, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. I don't know of like many fighters. I know it's like after they're done with the fight, they don't really get to talk to the person that much. It's only like like a 45-second talk or like not that much. But like yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool that you got close with the fighter. Um, in your words, what do you think of your UFC experience so far?
I think we have done a good job. I have took a lot of short notice fights,
Mm-hmm.
and that have also, I think, give me an advantage to learn a lot, like, quicker.
Yeah.
Um, feel more comfortable every time I'm in there. Being in the UFC and competing in like another organization is a little bit different. Like, it's the same thing. You're gonna get into occasion, you're gonna fight.
Yeah.
Little bit different, as if it's a little bit more things you have to do. And is obviously the competition is, like, step up, and you had to, be ready, and be ready at all like aspects of the game.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Um,
Mhm.
with like in terms of fighting and stuff, like how short notices are your fights? Like I know people would have like 48 hours. I know people would have like a week.
Yeah, well, the shorter one is being a well, actually, uh it's being back to back fights.
Mm-hmm.
So I fought on a Saturday, then in Vegas, then I left, and
Okay.
I went to Florida to see my sister, and then so I left on the Sunday. Then on a Wednesday, they called me to go back to see if I wanted to fight on that Saturday again
In the UFC?
in the UFC. So I went
Wow.
to Vegas. So I fought Saturday. I left Sunday. Then I was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I get the call. Then Thursday I fly out. Then fight Saturday.
Wow, that's crazy. I'd
Yeah,
never heard of someone having like a back to back fight and just having to do
yeah,
that. What
yeah.
was it very like hectic and like, you know, kind of stressful?
I try not to put stress on myself. It's just like, oh, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Bye. And
Mm-hmm.
I just go, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Did it affect like the whole physical aspect of it, like being like, oh, I just had a fight, like I'm kind of like not feeling up to it, or were you just ready for another one?
Uh, no, I mean, it's such a short period of time that it's not time to, get out of shape or do anything, right? No
Yeah.
time, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it was fine, and then my body was fine. I actually finished the fight before. I finished it with an armbar, I think in the first round, I believe. So
Wow.
I didn't took any damage. So the downside was that I took, the fight. It was 125.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the girl that I fought that other time, he was like way bigger than me. But it's a great experience. I love it, and yeah, I did it.
Mm-hmm. That's really incredible. And going against like back to back fights, it's just like I bet that's just super stressful. Even though it's just like, hey, I gotta do it. It's my job, you know. But
Yeah, exactly.
um, going off of like all the fights, did you were you close with like all the fighters you went up against, or was it just kind of like I want to get in there and just knock them out?
No, I actually don't know any of the fighters I fight. Yeah, I hear about them. I watched them fight
Mm-hmm.
before, but I don't know them. So for me, it's just someone in front of me that I had to beat. Show my skills. And I like to test myself. Um, obviously with better opponents, it's just making me better too, right?
Yeah. So you think it's? Do you usually watch film on on the fighter you're gonna go against?
I watch a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
just to see what I had to watch out for,
Yeah.
and work with that. But that usually my coach do that, and
Yeah.
he tells me what to do or what not to do, what to work on, all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I usually ask that question just so like everyone, because some people don't, and then it was the first time I heard like your coach came up with that, but that's a really good way to put it. Just because like I need if the coach watches it, he knows what you should work on and just like stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But going off to like your background, how is it living in Canada?
It's good, Obviously, I miss Mexico, and it's
Yeah.
it's it's so different to
Mhm.
be here. To go to to be in Mexico is just like it's different worlds.
Yeah,
And
different climate. Yeah, and it's just
yeah, different climate, different people, different
mhm.
lifestyle, different everything. Different food. I do miss Mexico, and I love every time I go there. I love it.
Mhm.
Uh, so yeah, it's fine. I mean, I've been here for 13 years now, and
Okay.
you get used to it, right?
Yeah.
Took me few years to get used to it, to be here, honestly. But once you get the ball rolling, it's just boom.
Yeah. Just like a couple years and just like you get used
Mhm.
to it. Yeah, I'm from Chicago, Illinois, so it's been here all
Mm.
my life, so I've never really traveled and gotten the aspect of like, different climate. I've only been inside the United States, so it's
Oh, I see.
yeah. But how long did you grow up in Mexico?
I was 14 and a bit, almost 15 when I moved here.
Okay. And so where did you grow up in Mexico?
I was Calientes.
Okay.
So that's good. Yeah.
One of my buddies lives in Mexico. He's from Mexico and he just moved back, so it's just
Mm,
like, it's tough, just losing like a friend, but you still get to talk to him.
yeah.
But
Yeah. Sure.
what was it like traveling and going to different places to fight? Like definitely like Vegas. Like what's your whole aspect on going there? Just because those are where most of the fights are.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, honestly. When I have a fight coming up, I don't do a whole lot. I just like to stay in my room, just chill. I'm not like the kind of go walk around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
After the fight, sure, I'll do whatever you want. But before the fight, the week of the fight, I'm not a big okay walking around the mall and
Yeah.
stuff. That's too boring. I just like to stay in my room, you know, um, do my thing, relax. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really smart because when I see like all this YouTube blogs and like I watch all the fighters. Just that's what we do just for studying people and getting to know them. We just see a lot of like blogs where they're going to get food, they're walking around. It's just like I think it's smart where it's just like fight week. You gotta be like focused and not necessarily like going out, but I mean it's for the experience and it's just the you're not there for long, only there for what a few days, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're there from Tuesday to Sunday, pretty much.
Okay.
You leave after the fight the next day. Uh, but I just don't like to go out.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that.
Y-
But after the fight, I do go out. I do, I go do whatever.
mhm.
Uh, yeah. Or if I really like the city and I want to stay longer, I'll just extend my stay for a few
Yeah.
more days, and I stay and do whatever I want to do.
Mhm. Are you one of those fighters who goes out to some of the fights and just like watches people or watches like future competitors or cuz I know a lot of fighters do that.
No, I mean, if I watch fights, I just watch them at home.
Yeah.
I don't really go travel for to watch the fights. Yeah.
Yeah, there's I just seen like a lot of people just go out just for the fun of it and just seen like Dillashaw and all of them like the big fighters they go out and they watch like people who are fighting that they might be fighting in the future. It's a good thing
Yeah,
to do, but like yeah, I agree. It's just like you're
it's too much
home.
work.
Yeah, it's too much work. You don't want to be traveling and just for that. You want to be like fighting. You don't want to be like oh I want to go watch this person. But if you're close, then maybe. But if you're at home, it's just like no point
Yeah,
doing that.
at home.
But what other places did you travel to fight? Like, did you fight in other countries, or did you fight just mainly in the United States?
Yeah, it's me. I have been only in the States, so Vegas, San Diego, Phoenix.
Okay.
That's it, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, really? So
Mm-hmm.
you've been more on like the left side, not really the
Mm-hmm.
all around. Because I don't. I know there's a lot of fights, and like sometimes there's Chicago. I know Milwaukee's huge for fighting now. Um, yeah, I think more of like the more popular type of stuff. It's more in Vegas and
Yeah.
yeah. So you haven't gotten the chance to travel to like Paris. I know a lot of fighters go there.
Yeah. No, I haven't. I haven't had the chance to.
So you're like you've only been to Canada, Mexico, and U.S.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm pretty good on the UFC side. If you want to talk about fighters or anything that's on your mind, just for the like 10 minutes we have left, I would definitely love to talk about other topic because it's up to you guys. Just for I get a portion for you guys just to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Well, you asked me. I don't.
Okay, well, yeah, just going off of what other like hobbies are you into? Like do you watch like other sports or
Oh, fuck. Okay. I'm not big. I mean, I don't do anything else other than training and hang out with my family, hang out with my dog. I just keep it pretty, pretty small, just because I do like, I love my life, and
mm-hmm.
you know, I don't really, I don't know, like it's weird. Like I just train, and then after training, you're tired. Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't want anything else. So yeah, that's
Oh.
pretty much.
So
Yeah.
you're just more of like, chillax person, just want to like do the work and then just chill after, not really want to do anything else or
Yeah, yeah. You train, chill, go for a hike with my dog, or hang out with the family.
mm-hmm.
That's about it. I'm not a big fan of, going out and doing like a lot of things because I'm like, well, I gotta train later, or oh, I gotta
Yeah.
train tomorrow, or
Yeah. Of
yeah.
course.
But I do like to travel, so after my fights, I try to do like a little getaway somewhere
Mhm.
just to decompress and start over nice and fresh.
Yeah. What's like your favorite place to get away to?
Honestly, Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
I
love it.
I'm actually going there in December for vacation.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
going to I think Cancun. I'm pretty sure,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, I haven't been there. I know my family has. They didn't have a good experience there just because they got sick. It's just like a totally different like climate. But yeah, if I'd say like for me, a place I'd get away is probably be Florida, just because my family has a condo there, and we just used to go there every single year. It's just like a place you get to relax. I don't really like. I'll go out, yeah, but it's a resort, so you're just like chilling there.
Yeah.
Don't really want to go anywhere else. It's just that's the kind of person I am. I mean like I will go sightseeing, but it's not like my favorite thing to do. But
Mm-hmm.
what going back on family and everything, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a Formosa mountain dog. He's a street dog from Taiwan.
Oh, really? That's really cool. How would are you gonna show a picture?
I'm gonna show here. He's right there.
Is he on the rug? Aw, look at that dog.
Hey, Bubba.
It
Hi.
looks kind of like a lab just from the video.
Yeah, yeah. He does look like a lot. No, he's a street dog from Taiwan.
That's really cool. How did you end up getting? Was it like a rescue somewhere or?
Yeah, well, I wanted a dog for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and just when I decided to have a dog, I'm like, okay, but it has to be a rescue, right? There is like so many dogs in homes.
Yeah.
So I look on, I think it was maybe Facebook,
Yeah.
and they have like organizations that they bring dogs from Taiwan, from Mexico, from and around the world. And I saw this little guy. I went to see him, and
You just fell in love with him.
yeah, this is my dog. And yeah,
What's his
Freddy.
name?
Freddy.
Freddie. Oh, that's cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know how you feel with just like spending time with your dog. I grew up with a lab my whole life. And then I still have a little dog. She's about like this big. She's so tiny. She's like you can fit her in a purse or anything. She like thing I love about her is just like when you want to relax, like there'd be times where you just want to lay in your bed because you're tired from like a sport or anything like that. And my dog just cuddles with me. She'll sleep under the
Yeah,
blanket with me.
yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, even with big dogs, like my big dog would come up in my bed and he would just still lay down. But it wasn't like I used to when I used to run back in like high school, I my dog would always run with the team. He'd run with us. And it would just be
Yeah, that's
like
awesome.
yeah, so it'd be like, oh, we have him with us and it'd just be that was like his favorite thing to do. But
Yeah.
my dad did it too, so it's just I love dogs and going back on like rescues. I actually a couple years back I had a lot of rescue pets. I picked up two birds and they had like some of them don't have like a good background. It's just like they
Hmm.
had they had a rough life. My first
Yeah.
bird was very like quiet. Wouldn't
Hmm.
like talk. She was scared, and when she would always
Hmm.
try defending herself, so it's like with that, and same with my other bird I got. He was quiet at first, but he's also a little baby, so it's kind of
Hmm.
just like I had the whole, got the nurture the bird, and just growing up, he got just super, super big and super kind. He just like feels like he's at home, but that's like a whole. If I had to like get another dog or anything like that, I would definitely just do a rescue, just because they deserve like a good home. They don't deserve what they had back then.
Yeah.
But do you just have a dog, or do you have any pets, other pets?
No, I just have him. That's it. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I get that. How old is Freddie?
He's turning 3 in the new year, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I know my little dog is um, I think she's 10, and then my big dog was no, she's 11. Then my big dog was 11 too.
Okay.
He passed away early this year, so but
Um,
no, it's all good. It's just it was a he lived a good life. He was a rescue too, so having him was just like awesome. And he
mhm,
loved my dad. My dog would always like get the mail from my dad every morning. My dad would be like, "Hey, go get the mail." Dog would just run
mhm,
outside with a smile and grab it. But yeah, I honestly love pets. I'm just like with all this stuff. Like I'm mainly into pets, chilling. Doing this stuff and watching UFC because UFC is
oh,
like my favorite thing to watch. Especially I go to college and we, I live in a house with probably 20, 25 guys.
oh
And
wow.
yeah, it's called a fraternity. And it's just like a business fraternity or it's just like long life friends. So lot. Like every Saturday we watch UFC. It's just like
Mm,
it's our
awesome.
favorite thing to do. And like ever since we started watching it, like last year, the year before, I just got huge into it. And I did this, and I wanted to get you guys involved just because I think it'd be really cool. And it's just like a huge experience having you guys on, and it really means a lot. But yeah,
Great.
it's what I'm huge into. But just wrapping up, one question: what would you say to someone who's starting MMA? Like, what would be your advice to them?
It would be, I mean, just train, train
Mm-hmm.
hard, and everything will come together, for, to have your first fight, to get into the UFC, that's what you want. But not only for fighting, like for anything you do, right?
Yeah.
Just start doing it, and and once you get the ball rolling, then you start figuring out things without being scared. Don't think too much, just do
Mm-hmm.
it, and everything will fall into place.
That was a really good way to put it. I totally agree with that. Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. This was episode 5, so stay tuned. It's coming up on YouTube. See you guys. Just see YouTube.